I'm going to give a speech about my teacher who has a significant impact upon my study path. Her name is Ming, whom I possibly regard as the most inspirational teacher ever within my life. To get started, I might want to reach the situation in which I got to know her. So let's get back a little bit in my secondary school time. From grade 6 to 9, I believe, we had the same mathematics mentor whose teaching methodology is totally theoretical and boring. To be honest, I've never been a big fan of math. If I don't want to say, I have no idea of it. So anything related to number would definitely puzzle me. But everything apparently alters in my grade 9. Ming was our new math teacher, believe me. She's much more interesting because the former one retired. To continue the speech, I'd love to mention what made her so special. I mean, what made her her. Mrs. Iron Woman, that's how we address her. Unlike other female ordinary teacher, her voice has such authority, so powerful. Just a glimpse at us from her freaks it out, definitely. Wow. Well, speaking of her teaching methodology, it was awesome. She knew how to engage all of her students and got everyone to involved in. I think she's quite brilliant on turning the hard theory into the fluffy one by telling some hilarious stories surrounding it. Finally, if I still have time, I'd like to explain a little bit why she has a massive motivation towards me. I can tell that she's a very dedicated teacher who always tries to get exposed to all of her students as much as possible. What I mean by the word dedicate here, it's not merely teaching and learning at school anymore, because it flourished up to a company activity. So she was the one to help me be out of the woods in terms of family affairs. So this Iron Woman is an exemplary model for being an influential teacher.
Well, it can be said that my country went through a number of changes in education during the last 10 years, including, government's more fund allocation, more women's enrollment in higher studies, or changes in academic syllabus. Yeah. But the most significant change is the people's mentality regarding the necessity of education. Yeah. Compared to like 20, 30 years ago, when parents show little interest in sending their kids to school, nowadays, every parent invests in their children's education from, very early. So this is the very giant leap in terms of the advancement of our education, I think. I think my answer would need to rely on my own experience and expectations mostly. My best guess is that the education would be more practical than theoretical in the future. Besides, the number of higher education institutes would increase by many-fold than the current number. That's for sure. And probably, computer-based education system would replace many traditional ones, and maybe online education would be very popular during that time. Tons of things can happen. But whatever changes it will have, I hope all of those will be, positive changes, including like 100% literacy rate. Some of our universities are ranking in the world's best university list, and we are renowned as a country of very excellent place for education, maybe. Well, I think the expectation of school leavers nowadays are very different from the past. Like 10, 20 years ago, most of them want to have a stable job, early marriage, early settlement. they had tendency to work in companies where their parents have some kind of position or something. So they're very passive in the choice of career. But now youngsters are more ambitious, more career-oriented, more educated with higher degree pursuit. So they freedom, totally freedom in the choice of career. And a lot of school leavers I know today also tend to start up their business, challenge themselves. Some are willing to drop up unis to do that. I think that's kind of risky decision, but worth to try for those who have very strong ambitions. So why not? Well, extracurricular activities sharpen the minds of students and enhance their creativity. Those are the balance between academic learning and pleasure time in terms of psychological. And in terms of education, outside activities give students a chance to enhance their living skills such as community sense, teamwork, and others. And they also, deepen their understanding and also practice their knowledge. They also provide guidance for children to figure out what their passions and potentials are. Some students turn their hobbies in their activities in their later career and gain certain success. So who knows, right? It depends, I prefer to work in pair for the complex topics and subjects. When I study in group, I can discuss my views and learn options from others. But when I do some literature learning, I prefer self-study. I feel free to let my imagination to take off or discover new things and find out my own way to learn more effectively. So anyway, I think the best is to combine and continuously find out new ways to learn in different situations. I think allocating the same levels of student for group study will have both positive and negative sides. I mean, on the one hand, it's good for teachers to deliver lesson and assess their levels more easily. And the student also feel equal and less pressures than studying with more outstanding students, which may make them suffer the lack of confidence. However, on the negative side, students can hardly feel competitive. If learning with better ones, they may have great motivation to perfect themselves. Yeah, so I don't know.